Welcome back to the channel, my friends. In today's episode, we're going to be checking out Peat's Beast, an unchilled filtered bottle of Scotch whiskey, bottled at 46% ABV, not to be confused with the cask strength version, which is 52%. With a name like that, it better be goddamn peaty and beastly. In yesterday's episode, I ridiculed Feta Kern because I believe their whiskey just wasn't trying to be anything, whereas Peat's Beast sounds like a whiskey that's trying to be something. So I'm very excited to open this up and actually try it. I've already opened the dram and I can already smell that beautiful peaty smokiness. And that is a nice straw-coloured whiskey that definitely isn't lying about its age with some kind of colouring, which I really respect. Check out that beautiful straw colour for yourself. You can see there's no colouring added to this. It's not pretending to be something it's not. And then I come over to the nose. I do get the peatiness. However, it is nowhere near as impactful as I thought it would be. I actually get fruitiness and peatiness from this. With a name like Peat's Beast, I thought there was going to be, full-on smoke in the nostrils like a bonfire, but it's less aggressive than a Talisker or a Laphroaig, if you're familiar with those two brands. I can definitely tell it hails from Scotland. I can smell Speyside, Islay. As I get in deeper, I smell paprika. It's a young, peaty sort of smokiness to it. There's almost a salty aspect to it as well. Almost like when you're on a rocky beach and the waves are crashing against it and you get that sort of salt spray. It's kind of like that sort of experience. Like a barbecue on a beach with the salty spray coming up and hitting you in the face. Let's go ahead and actually try this on the palate now. There is an initial punch of ash, bitter lemon peel. I can detect a little bit of fruitiness. I am glad, actually, that they have bottled this at 46% because I think it adds to that kind of unusual sort of tingly sort of flavour you get. It's less sort of impactful than I got with a Talisker, though it's still there. It's that initial ash and smokiness, and then it's kind of followed by this very subtle fruitiness of apple, and then the aftertaste is kind of like this smoky, sort of bonfirey taste that's been, like after a bonfire's been put out and the smell kind of lingers there. That's kind of what I'm getting in my mouth. The overall feel of the whiskey is like an oily sort of one. It lingers on the tongue, and I really like that actually about it. I really do. I like this whiskey. The thing is, if I was going to buy a peaty whiskey, I like my whiskies very peaty, and actually Talisker and Laphroaig I find more peaty. I think Talisker is actually a similar price range to Peat's Beast, and I'd still buy a Talisker over this, just because it's kind of got more of what I love about Peat's Beast. Being the peatiness, a more aged sort of peatiness though, a more smoky, aggressive attack on your senses when you drink it. Laphroaig as well is kind of like a cheaper substitute for this. However, I do really still like it, and the bottle branding they have is absolutely amazing. So I'd definitely give this, a 7 out of 10 of something that I'd potentially look at buying a bottle of. And I do really enjoy it. What I'm going to do is actually water a little bit down and see if we can get any further flavours out of this whiskey. And I'm going to let that sit for a minute, and then we're going to have a try. But on the nose, that fruitiness really develops and comes out of its shell now. And you can also pick up a very subtle saltiness of the sea. The smoke and peatiness is still there, but again, it's young. It's not as aggressive as other whiskies I've tried. Which is, to me, is a little bit disappointing because obviously it's called Peat's Beast. But again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think a Talisker and Laphroaig to some people are overpowering peaty and smokiness, whereas this kind of achieves a really subtle balance that I've not experienced before. So for that reason, I still do enjoy it. In another way, though, yeah, don't water it down, you'll ruin it. You get the saltiness much more. It just tastes like the sea, to be honest. And you kind of still get intense saltiness, but also fruity flavors. Though there is a focus on the sea and salt water, and kind of like you've just broken out like an oyster and, you know, poured the contents of something from the sea into your mouth. And yeah, it's nice. But God, it ruins the whiskey adding water in it. It just needs the aggressiveness of that 46% alcohol. So I'm glad they've gone for that. The watered down version is just nowhere near as impactful as I think Peat's Beast deserves to be in the name. This whiskey needs to be drunk neat with no water at all. It's got such a full-bodied flavour to it that I really enjoy. And I think it's something that if I was trying to get someone into smoky whiskies, I'd introduce them to Peat's Beast. They probably think they're a beast when drinking it as well. And I love the artwork and the design of the bottle and what they've gone for here. So I do really enjoy this whiskey, and I'd probably give it a 6.5 out of 10. Its price puts me off a little bit because I would always go for a Talisker or a Lefroy just because I personally prefer that. However, for the middle ground between a smoky whiskey that isn't too overpowering for some people, I think that is still, you know, definitely got a market for that, though it's just not for me. So personally a 6 out of 10, but to be fair, a 7 out of 10. It's still a very nice whiskey that I really enjoy, and, you know, I can't fault it for many reasons. But if you guys have tried this whiskey, let me know what you thought in the comment section, and tell me if you guys have any other peaty whiskies that you can recommend me to try in the future. And if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe, press the bell notification icon, then YouTube will let you know if I publish another whiskey review. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Have a fantastic day, whatever you might be drinking. Goodbye.